Hey, we're live.
Hey,
Um,
Lori.
I want to introduce everybody watching live or later. We always say live or later because pastors' wives are busy and they're all over the place. So a lot of them will catch it later. But I want to introduce you all to Candace and John Rowe, who I just met, but I've heard about from my sister. Do you want to introduce yourselves? And Candace, you have to start. By the way, everybody who's watching, John told us he tends to take over and talk, so we're supposed to make him be quiet. So anyway, Candace, you start, introduce yourself, and then I have a question for John too. But tell us what you do.
Yes. Okay. So I'm Candace Rowe, and here from Southern California. And our ministry is to love and care on faith-based leaders. We want to provide a place of rest, which is renewal and a place of encouragement, place of safety and transformation for leaders who are just, in ministry, and for them to basically get that rest that they need so that they can continue serving the Lord. So we have this home, which is we call an Oasis, and we love to provide meals for our guests. We provide coaching and debriefing, different types of things, whatever the guests need, as well as just a space for them to enjoy alone time with the Lord or their spouse if they're married, their family, whatever it may be.
I'm just ready to come. And I love that you said your heart is to love and care for ministry leaders, because I don't know who's watching, but I kind of bet like we all love to be loved and cared for, because one of the things we talk about is we're pouring out. And it's so beautiful that you all, like, it's your mission to pour in. And we'll talk more about Mountaintop Oasis for a minute, but just a little aside, John, I was stalking you guys on Facebook, and you have had like a variety of facial hair stuff going on. Like, you look like a totally different person in this one picture and this one and this one. So just super quick, you can't take too much time, but tell us about your facial hair drama.
Well, this is actually how I've lived most of my life. But yeah, so this is kind of normal. I can grow a pretty decent mustache, but we've been living up here in the mountains. We're about 6,100 feet above sea level in the mountains of Southern California. And everyone up here, facial hair, beards, mustache, it is definitely a thing, having the beard oils and the mustache wax and all the combs. And yeah, it's a real thing. And so I went into like my men's Bible study when we got hooked up into a small church that we're in over here. And I was the only one without one. So I felt a little out of place.
You've reclaimed you, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think maybe in the winter I might bring the mustache back.
Okay.
But we're in Southern California here, and like so tomorrow's still supposed to be 93. It can get hot, and less facial hair is it's pretty good. So that's been the transformation and the facial hair journey this past 12 months.
I just thought I'd throw that out just in case people stalked you or looked at you, because Candace looked like you've been married to 3 different men. You know, I'm like, is this the same guy? Okay, now I know you have been missionaries, you've been church planters, you're running this Oasis now for ministry leaders. And let me just throw this out here. We've talked a lot in our community so far about self-care, and many of us pastors' wives are a bit dumb, like martyr-ish, and we don't want to spend money on ourselves, or we don't have it, or we think other needs are more important than ours. And one of the things that comes up is, I can't afford to go away, I can't afford rest, I can't afford counseling, I can't afford coaches, I don't have any money. And you guys do something very different. So can you share how what you do speaks to ministry leaders?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we understand everything that you just said, and so our heart is to also provide it at very little minimum to no cost. So we have what's called a suggested donation, and it's based on how many people are coming and per night, things like that. But it's ultimately a suggested donation. Like, we make sure when we do our calls with the future guests and we're kind of telling them about the ministry and everything that's incorporated and things like that, that point is gotten across, and that they really understand that no matter what, even if you didn't have a dime, we want you to come and get rest and love and care. So we are support funded, and we raise support and things like that. So we understand the lack of funds, but we also have people that can pour into us, that we can gift that to other people. And so that's really why we have that heart, is like we understand it and we know it, but we know it's a need. And God's given us this beautiful place, and this heart to do that. And so if people can't, give the suggested donation, it's okay. We will find a way, and God will provide. He always has. And we've had people that have come and they just leave feeling so refreshed, and like that's our biggest heart in it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. There's always a way. Like when people say they don't have money for rest or self-care or whatever, there's always a way, and you are one way. Like it may not be for everyone, but it is. And most people don't know you exist. And I'm now remembering how my sister found you. We were putting together a resource last year at this time for pastors' wives and pastoral families of where to find counseling, where to find coaches, where to find places of retreat like yours. And that's how your name came up. Like, how exciting is that we got connected that way?
Yeah, totally.
It is. It's very awesome. What were you going to say about this?
Oh, no, the only thing I wanted to add, I just wanted to stress and emphasize, like, we totally understand, because we've been missionaries, like you were saying, and we have been on support for 7 years. So we have 5 to 6, some large, very large churches, some very small churches that have backed us, that are backing us. We have about 80 other individual partners that back us. So there's a lot of people that are on our team that are really wanting to help bring to light everything you're saying. There's always a way, and we understand from personal experience, and that's why we just want to give as much as we can.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to add one more thing, is also like what's cool is we work with an organization called Life Impact Ministries. And so we're not the only Oasis. So yes, we're located in Southern California and we have a home, but they're also all across the states and internationally as well. So, if we're kind of harder to get to financially because we're in California and someone may be on the East Coast or something like that, there's other Oases and other locations that they could look into, and they do the same exact thing we do. Well, exact in that, like, they are there to provide rest and care, but everyone specializes in something different, and each Oasis is different. They put their own flair, and maybe they're trained in different things, but that's what we love about this organization, is that we can all make it our own and really use our strength that God's given us.
I love it, love it, love it. And one thing, this is why you're here. So everybody who's watching live or later, this is one of the things that is in the expo booth at the live conference. We have a live conference on Saturday, and you can go into the expo booth. It's kind of like, because John and Candace, you haven't seen our conferences, right?
No, not yet.
No, we've been kind of stalking you a little bit behind the scenes the past week or two. So we saw what like a booth looks like, and it's awesome. It's so professional. We love it. We love what you guys are doing.
Cool. It's kind of like going into a virtual expo booth and you get to click and get free things. But one of the things in the expo booth is going to be our prize giveaway, our conference prize giveaways, because we get some really big prizes that people want to give away, but we don't want to give them to people who don't care. When people win things and you're like, seriously, you're not going to use that. I would have used that, So you have to go into the expo booth and drop your name in with which prize you want to get. And there's several different giveaways. One we talked about yesterday, but you all are waiving your suggested donation for this one giveaway, right? So what's the giveaway that people can enter to win?
Yeah, the giveaway is basically, I believe it's 4 nights stay here with us. So kind of like a week, 5 day, 4 nights, stay with us. And depending on the guest that wins it, what their needs are, who they want to bring, if they have a family and things like that, we're basically going to provide meals for them every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner type of thing. And we will provide our services if they want debriefing or coaching, things like that. We know the area well, so there's hiking and trails to go on. We have games and workout equipment. I mean, we have tons of stuff here, and we really just, our heart is to personalize the retreat as well. So every guest is different. So, your needs versus your sister's needs might be different. And so we like to do a call, maybe similar to this, like a video call where we can see them, meet them, and hear their heart and what they are, what season they're in and what their needs are. And we really customize the retreat for that. We like to get, snacks maybe that the guests like and that they don't have often, or, just little things that really show them that they are loved and cared for. So that's what we're giving away. A time here in the mountains of Southern California, if you want to come in the summertime when it's warm, or if you want to come in the winter where there's snow, like we have kind of an awesome range of weather, and we have fall and the leaves are changing. So it's just going to be an awesome retreat for someone.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
I
cool.
just want to add in there. So like what we'll end up doing is doing like a Zoom call with whoever wins, in order to personalize that. So it could be a single pastor wife, and she came, or it could be her and her husband and a marriage thing. It could be the whole family. And depending on what there is, it could just be a time of rest and renewal, like Candace was referring to the extent of possibly debriefs. That might, that has other things, but informal coaching and things like that as well. And then the only other thing I wanted to add was we've done this once before, and it attributes to what you were just saying. So even if someone wins it, and then ends up not being able to come, like within a year or so, they actually gifted it to a friend who was another ministry leader.
Yeah.
So we're willing to do that as well. So if someone wins it and it's their sister, like your sister, you're like, this would be so good for my sister.
Uh-huh.
We're totally open and willing to talk to that person as well.
I love it so much. We talk so much about relational ministry in small churches. And I know before we came live, you guys were talking about your love for small churches, but it's so much people to people. And it sounds like you all make that part of your ministry too.
Yes, definitely. It kind of feels like every guest we have afterwards becomes family. Like, whether they're here for a weekend, or we had a pastor and his family. So there was a total of 6 people. They came at the beginning kind of his sabbatical. It was like his kickoff.
Yeah.
And they just became our second family.
Yeah.
They were here for like maybe 14 days or something like
They
that.
were here a long time.
And it was just like, we just love to make those relationships and connections. And next thing you know, your Facebook friends, and you're following their life story, and what's happening, and their kids and growing up. And they're always like, hey, if you're ever in our neck of the woods, like, come visit us, and you have a place to stay. And so it's just really, really cool what we get to do, in meeting people and just seeing God's kingdom grow. So it's really awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of tears that departure.
Yeah, that's right.
So if people want to know more about you or your ministry, or ask some questions, or maybe they want to become one of your supporters and give you money, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you get support. How do they find you or best connect with you or anything like that?
Yeah, we have 2 different websites, but the main one you can go to is mountaintop.care.
Super easy.
So the name of
So
our
I was
Oasis
on the wrong one, huh?
is the Mountaintop, but you can also go to lifeimpact.care and find us there. So Life Impact is our organization, like we said. So if you go to lifeimpact.care, you can see all the other Oases, but you can also find ours and find more information there. And then if not there, you can find us on mountaintop.care. We both have Facebook. We have a Mountaintop Oasis Facebook page, a group. And so we also do that. And on our website, you can sign up to receive like our newsletters. You can sign up for a donation on there. So those are our main ways, and email are on there. All the different ways you can contact
email,
us.
phone, things like that are on there. So if we have many people that send us a text, some of the not so tech savvy,
maybe or give us a call. We have
people give us a call. All of that,
to book.
Okay, does this look right? Mountaintop. .core. Let me think.
Care. Yeah.
All right. But yes, that was definitely almost there.
That
so
one is easier to remember than the other one because there's a lot less.
Yeah, exactly. So that one is the mountaintop.care. That's our personal website. And then even if the other one, it not like Candace was saying, it's just lifeimpact.care as well.
Oh, okay.
And that gets you to the main Life Impact organization. And from there, you can look at all the different OACs, international OACs, national OACs. And like Candace was saying, they specialize in everything from missionary kids to marriages to family retreats. I mean,
so cool. That's so cool. So,
exactly.
Hey, if you all are watching live or later and you're catching this before the conference on Saturday, every night we also go live with a speaker interview. And it's really cool. It's content, but it's also you get to meet people ahead of time. So live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, pop on here, and we're having, who's the speaker today? Oh, Amy Nelson. She's one of my all-time favorite people. Sorry, everybody else. You're all my favorite people. But I'm so excited to talk to her tonight. You're going to love her energy and her mission. And she is just, she's just an amazing person. So pop on later, but please check out Mountaintop Oasis. I had no idea you guys existed. And I just want to just point to this too, because it's not just you, it's people who are also helping to fund you. And a lot of times as pastors and pastors' wives, especially in small churches, we feel, or we can feel unsupported, or like nobody knows we're there. And the other night, somebody on one of the interviews mentioned that this person she found has a heart for pastors' wives. Like, who knew that? Like, they weren't even a pastor's wife, and they have a heart for pastors' wives. And here you have a whole ministry where donors are pouring into you.
Yep.
So you, like, how cool is that? So you pour into ministry couples and leaders and families. Like, I think that is so awesome. Okay, so if you each, just for fun, let's do a couple rapid fire crazy questions. What's your favorite food? If you got to order dinner from anywhere in the world tonight and have it delivered to you, what would you get and why? John, we'll start with you.
Yeah, for me, I love chicken parmesan, but if it was like my last meal, I'm originally from Philadelphia, so it would be Phil and Jim's Philly cheesesteak from Chester, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philly.
Wow, I'm not from Philly, and I love Philly cheesesteak. Candace, how about you?
It's amazing.
I would say anything Italian, but maybe like Alfredo, chicken Alfredo. It's always been my favorite. I'm lactose intolerant, can barely eat it, but I'll take the pain for some good Alfredo.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'll take the pain for that. Okay. And then just my last question, which is a little not as light, but you've been in ministry a long time. You've church planted, you've been missionaries. What's your best piece of advice for people who are struggling or tired or just, getting that ministry, compassion, care, fatigue, and all that? John, we'll start with you. What's your best piece of advice?
One of my biggest things is it's two parts. One, just look at what the Bible says. Like, the Bible is our direction of how to live life. And have you ever heard this crazy statement? It's a sad but true fact that a pastor can sit at the pulpit, can preach every Sunday, can run a full church, whether small or large. And then you look at the basic law, that those 10 commandments, right? The basic 10 commandments. You look at, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not worship other gods, all of that. Out of those 10, 9 will get that pastor kicked out of the pulpit. 1 will get him a raise. And that 1 is thou shalt honor the Sabbath. We don't do Sabbath well as people. So that's my first aspect of that, is like, and it goes hand in hand with the second part of it needs to be a maintenance thing. Like,
yes, thank you.
We do get people that come and they're on the verge of burnout, or they're this, but like when we specialize in debriefing, and when we have people come for debriefing, we say this shouldn't just be a one and done thing. It's things that build up in your backpack that you need to unload every so often, and it's helpful. So maintenance and the Bible.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Candace, how about you? What's your piece of advice?
I would second that, because I was going to talk about kind of the maintenance part of it, is that really, like, if you take the time to, I know, and that's hard. The finding the time is like a really hard part of it. And that's why I wanted to mention like the other Oases, and we're not the only ones who are doing this. I know it's hard to find, but like there are others out there. And so finding a place and time for that rest and renewal will help keep you going, because otherwise you get to a point where you're burnt out and you want to serve well. You want to do whatever it is that is your ministry and what God's called you to, and the different things. You want to do that well, but it's hard from a place of being tired and run down. And so to just take some time to fill up, and that's our heart as well in Life Impact as a whole, is to prevent it. It's preventative. Yes. We want to get you before it really gets bad. So
that's what Life Impact really stabilizes, and it's our heart. So all of the Oases is being the best at rest, and that rest is an acronym for R is retreat, E is encouragement, S is safety, and T is transformation. So each one of these Oases, we do all of that in a personalized, special way. So that's our heart.
Can you give me your REST again?
R is for retreat.
Okay.
E is for encouragement. S is for safety. And T is for transformation. So that's what each Oasis aiming to do. We want to make sure that it's always a safe place. We want it to be God-based and a place where you can retreat and unwind. We want it to be a place of encouragement and building up. And then we want to see a transformation. We want to see a tired, wearied to refreshed and energized type of thing. So
I love it so much. And I just want to go back to one other thing you said, Candace, before we go. You said, it's hard to find the time to rest. And in my head, I'm like, what's harder? Having a breakdown. What's harder? Leaving your church. What's harder? Getting kicked out. What's harder? Failing your kids. What's hard? We think it's so hard to find the rest, but what's harder is what happens when we don't.
The alternative.
Yeah.
Hey, well, thanks for being with us. We will make sure to talk about you for the rest of time because, well, it's so delightful. And it's really important to know that people like you, organizations like you are out there. And I think to be able to tell ministry leaders, you're not alone. Like you're not alone and there's people out there. Yeah. But you got to take the steps. Kristen said this last night. Nobody's going to do the work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, rarely. Sometimes people will throw you away. You got to go now. But usually we have to do the work for ourselves. And I love being with you too. How fun!
Likewise.
Yeah, I can't wait to host you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because we said you guys come out for sure and see for yourself. Yeah, we're so excited what you guys are doing.
Come by myself and not share it with my husband.
Yes.
It's totally up to you.
Yep. You can do one-on-one coaching with Candace over here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm in Arizona, so I'm not too awful far.
Oh, see? Yes. Yeah. You want here? This is going to be a little tricky.
Oh, quick.
Portrait.
Oh, wow.
We'll be in the mountains and down below the city. Oh, there's a bird. So that'll just be your view. And you guys, whoever wins this, whoever wants to come. Really, it's not just for that win.
I love that you just showed us the view. Oh, I love that so much. All right, we're gonna go. Anybody who's around tonight, come back at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk with Amy Nelson.
Yes.
The conference is coming on Saturday, you all. There's still time to invite people. We get tons of people who literally hear about the conference on Friday and come on Saturday or even Saturday. But the saddest thing is, after the conference, when pastors' wives pop up, literally days after, it'll happen all year long. They'll say, "I'm so sad I missed it. Why didn't anybody tell me?"
Yeah.
So hey, y'all, get the word out. So all right, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Bye. Thank you.